These are all the advantages of having a left-handed player on your team. If you are a lefty, you can implement these tactics into your game to make yourself more deadly. Ben Johns made a statement himself that the future top team of the world will be a lefty-righty duo. We're gonna start from the baseline and work our way up to the kitchen line of all the advantages. Starting with the third shot drop here, let's pretend we're both right-handed players. It's Ridley's job to take all of the middle drops so I don't have to hit a backhand drop. So he should be coming all the way over here to protect my backhand. However, this will get him out of position for that next shot. With me being lefty, he now doesn't have to do that, and we can both just focus on our side, taking stress off of our shoulders to hit an easier drop. The next thing we're gonna cover is poaching. This is lefty and righty teams' bread and butter. The reason is, no matter who the opposing team returns to, I can drive it and Ridley can crash with his forehand in the middle, or Ridley can drive it and I can crash with my forehand in the middle. The basic strategy of most teams is to return to the left-sided player because typically the right-sided guy doesn't have that forehand, so he can't poach as effectively. Working our way to the kitchen line, the most obvious advantage of a lefty is middle coverage. So what do we mean by that? If I hit a dink this way and the guy goes to speed it up, I'm here with a big forehand. The forehand is effective because I can hit harder and I have more reach. If I'm right-handed, I only have this, or if I use two hands, which most players do, to get more power, my reach is even more reduced. So if the ball does come down the middle, I might have to lunge and might be out of position. Then if a dink comes this way, it's the exact same thing as normal with another forehand in the middle. The most common place to attack and have success is down the middle. So having a lefty and being able to completely take that away makes it a really tricky game for your opponents to adapt to a new game plan that they're not really used to. Same concept with the drops that we just discussed applies to our dinks. If a dink comes to my inside foot as a righty, it's Ridley's job to come all the way over to protect it, exposing that court. However, with a lefty, it allows us to play more 50-50 on our side. If you're not used to playing with a lefty, there could be a lot of confusion on the middle balls. The rule of thumb for lefties is whoever's in the cross pattern stays with it. Meaning if I'm dinking cross court with this guy, it's fine for me to step over here to stay in this because it allows Ridley to cover the line and we pinch the court on a 2-on-1 scenario. Same thing if Ridley's dinking cross with him. I'm not gonna come in and try to steal the ball. I'm just gonna let him stay cross and I'm just protecting my body. It makes us very effective like a wall. If you purchase any gear from carbonpickleball.com, when you check out, use code TANNER for 10% off. They're sponsoring me in my pursuit of professional pickleball on the PPA Tour. So every time you purchase something, it gives me a small kickback and allows me to be less out of pocket per each event. A sneaky pattern that I love to use to set up an Ernie that my opponents aren't used to seeing is when Ridley is dinking cross court like this, typically the right-sided guy won't come in and try to steal that dink. I like to step in like this and pull it back cross court. With that sharp angle, it often sets up an Ernie. However, say I don't get it or I miss, my partner is there to cover. Left-sided players typically don't go for Ernies because if they go, it's my backhand here to cover, which is very weak and is setting us up for failure. However, with me being a lefty, when he goes for an Ernie, I have the forehand in the middle to cover, so it allows us to be way more creative on the wings, shrinking the court in a sense, making the opponents dink more to the middle because they know we're both Ernie threats. The next thing we're gonna cover is my personal favorite shot while being at the kitchen line. If you're a left-hander, you have to put this in your game. Here's another angle to see the disguise. This is so dirty because I have so many options with this shot. This shot is super special for a lefty because it's one shot that a righty cannot do as effectively for this one reason. Let's pretend a lefty is over there and about to do that shot and speed it up down the middle. Now here I am, I'm a normal right-handed player. When he does this shot, I have to cover it with a backhand in the middle, which can make it super tricky. Because if it comes down the middle, I don't have as much power, and that player can hit a big inside out dink that way. So I'm here having to recover to a dink way over here. If a righty tries to hit this shot, let's say a player here tries to hit it, and I'm a right-handed player, Ridley has the forehand in the middle to cover. So it makes speeding up through the middle not effective. That's why it's so great for the lefty, because when they come down the middle, it's a backhand on defense. This shot works almost literally every single time. I'm going to demonstrate all three options if you're a left-handed player. Add these to your game. You won't regret it. Down the line. Middle. Now let's say Ridley's onto it. He's expecting it. Watch what I do now. If you can learn and add those three shots to your game, it opens up a world of opportunity because the player that's covering the middle has their backhand. It really allows you to get tricky and crafty. The last thing we're going to cover is when our opponents are hitting third shot drops and we're trying to keep them back. If they put the ball anywhere in this area, it's Ridley's job to come over and hit it so I don't have to hit a backhand. However, with having a lefty up here, we should ideally never have to hit a backhand up here. And here's the reason. If it comes to the middle, we both got it. If it comes out wide here, I can shift over to hit my forehand, and he is there to cover. Same thing, if the ball is coming out there, he can slide over to open up his forehand. Say he misses it, I'm here, I have the whole court. With a righty on the team, you cannot do this. This person plays basically singles while this player stands in the corner. Having the lefty-righty makes the court 50-50. Having a righty-righty makes the court 70-30. If you've learned anything from this video, please consider subscribing. I post a video like this every single week.